All right, we will go ahead and get started here. I'd like to welcome everybody to our BA to BSN virtual open house. This is the first open house that we have done for this program, so we're very excited to have you all here with us this evening. First, before we get started with too much information, I would like to go ahead and welcome one of our special guests, our School of Nursing Dean, Dr. Tara Halsey. Dean Halsey.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. I am super excited, first of all, that you're interested in the nursing profession. It is a fantastic profession. It is always what I wanted to go into, and I have never had any regrets. It has so many possibilities of different things that you can do with your career and of absolutely job security, that's for sure. It certainly comes with its challenges. It is absolutely excited that you all are in. We have at all levels and are actually expanding our fast track program. So to actually expand across the state. So again, I'm really excited that you're interested in this program. We have extremely dedicated faculty and staff that are really interested in the success of all of our students. And I think that you would find your experience with our school very rewarding, and you will make lifelong friends as well. And so I welcome you. And I hope that you ask questions. And if you think of something after this session, you know how to reach us. So please don't hesitate. We're here for you. And again, just welcome.
Thank you, Dean Halsey. So to give you all a brief overview of what we will discuss this evening, we do have a panel of guests that are with us here this evening. So we'll first begin with those introductions. Then we'll discuss the variety of academic programs that are offered at the undergraduate and graduate level here under the School of Nursing umbrella. Then we'll discuss the admissions process for this program. It is a little bit of a different program, so there's a little bit of a different admissions process. So we'll go into that in detail to hopefully give you guys a good pathway understanding of the program. Then we'll discuss the curriculum. We'll have a simulation lab tour of our STEPS lab that's on our Morgantown campus. We actually have a student that is with us here today to kind of give you some information as far as the student experience. Then we'll go over just kind of some facts and figures regarding not only the program, but the School of Nursing here as well. And then we'll follow that up with a Q&A session to answer any additional questions and concerns that you all may have. So first, we will go ahead and introduce our panel of guests. First, we have our Associate Dean of Academics, Dr. Tanya Rogers.
Hello, everybody. I am the Associate Dean of Academics, and what that means is that I oversee all of the programs. So if you ever have any other questions about these programs that we're talking about this evening or any of the others, you can always contact me. Welcome.
Next, we have Tanya Patron. She is one of our clinical education associate professors. And Tanya, I apologize if I butchered your last name.
Oh, that's okay. Hi, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here today. I coordinate the second degree program on the Morgantown campus. And one of the main reasons that I truly have a passion for teaching with second degree students is that you have something special to offer, whether it's through your life experiences, whether it's from any background that you could possibly have. We have some wonderful, interesting conversations in class, and you have so much to offer nursing. We're glad to have you with us.
Thank you, Tanya. And next we have Miss Veronica Gallo, who is another one of our clinical education assistant professors.
Hi, I'm Veronica Gallo. I am also the program chair for the Bridgeport campus. So if you are interested in that campus, you'll see a lot of me there. I'm really excited too. As Tanya said, I think that second degree students bring a lot to the table, have a lot to offer. And I'm really excited to be part of this inaugural class and new program that we're going to start on the Bridgeport campus.
Thank you, Veronica. Next, we have Caitlin Delegati, our Director of Admissions.
Hi, everyone. As Philip said, I'm Director of Admissions. So if you have any questions throughout the application process, I'm here to help you answer those questions and get you on the right track. I know I've actually worked with several of you and looking at some of the names that I see here tonight with your course equivalency forms. So if you need me, I'll make sure I put my email in the chat box later on. And if you have questions, I'll actually be manning the chat box and I'll try and answer your questions as we go and put in some helpful links if you need them.
Thank you, Caitlin. We have a current student with us, Taylor Board.
Hi, everyone. I'm Taylor. I'm a first semester senior, so I'll be graduating this August. Just wanted to say that I'm glad you guys are here and it's a great program, so welcome.
Thank you, Taylor. And lastly, my name is Philip Engelmeyer. I am the college recruitment specialist for the School of Nursing. As Caitlin had mentioned, I do see many familiar names. So it's good to see that you all are here with us this evening. So we'll go ahead and discuss what undergraduate programs that we have offered. Now, all of you are obviously here for our BS, BA to BSN program that is available on our Morgantown and now our newly Bridgeport United Hospital Center campus in Bridgeport, West Virginia. But we also feature our traditional BSN program that is on our Morgantown main campus. It is on our Kaiser Potomac State College campus, and then it's also on our Beckley West Virginia University Institute of Technology campus. And then we do feature an RN to BSN program, which is online. At the graduate level, we do feature an MSN that has 2 areas of study, a family nurse practitioner and a pediatric nurse practitioner. We do feature a post MSN certification, and those are for the areas of study that have a family nurse practitioner, pediatric nurse practitioner, a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, adult gerontology acute care nurse practitioner, and then a nurse executive leadership. We have an MSN MBA dual degree program. We feature a DNP nurse anesthetist program. We do have a Doctor of Nursing Practice or DNP program. And then we also have a nursing PhD program as well. So we'll go ahead and discuss the admissions process for this program. The application period is open until July 1st. The application did open at the beginning of this month in March. We do have a document deadline of July 15th. And then Caitlin, if I need clarification or anything, please let me know. But we have a document deadline of July 15th. So get your application in before July 1, and then transcripts and things like that all need to be in by July 15th.
Hey, Philip,
yeah.
I do want to add one thing with that July 15th. I know some of you are taking summer courses. If you're taking them through WVU, you won't have to have a new transcript sent to us. We'll be able to access those grades and add them to your application. But if you've already told me that you have enrolled in summer courses, as long as we can get your transcript in by the time that we meet for those courses, we'll be able to add that to your application.
Thank you, Caitlin. Usually decisions are made, which that's at the bottom, but to kind of give you a timeline, they take place around the end of September, early October. But the prerequisites are going to be one of the more important factors that I'm sure many of you are going to have questions about in the future. So that's going to be one of the bigger factors as to whether or not students can be admitted into the program. And so to help figure out what prerequisites have to be completed, need to be completed, what are required to begin with, we do have a course equivalency form that is listed on our website. Again, as Caitlin has mentioned, some of you have already submitted those, and that's great. This form is required to kind of establish your current standing as far as where you stand as far as prerequisites. Doesn't matter if you have graduated with a West Virginia University degree or if you've graduated elsewhere. Please submit that course equivalency form to Caitlin so we can make sure you know where you stand before you try to move further into the admissions process. If you do choose to enroll into the missing prerequisites, many of our students do enroll into West Virginia University. A majority, if not all of those, can be completed online, so it makes it fairly easy to do. In order to do that at West Virginia University, you would have to apply as a non-degree seeking student. So this is a separate application from the actual BSBA to BSN application. So you would have to apply to again. So if you plan to take a course or two during the summertime, you would need to apply as a non-degree seeking student in order to be able to take those 1, 2, 3 missing prerequisites. If there's any in the fall that you plan to take as well, you would need to reapply as well. So if you take them in the summer and fall, you would need to apply as a non-degree student both summer and fall for every term you plan to take classes. And if you plan to take any during the fall, you would need to provide proof of enrollment into these courses. So that way we can know that you are missing your Psychology 101 course. That way we are aware that you plan on taking that course. So you'll just need to make sure that you provide that proof of enrollment. Now, prerequisites don't need to be completed at WVU solely. It certainly makes it easier for not only us, but for you as well. But if there's an institution locally to you, you would need to check with either Caitlin or myself, so that way we can make sure that that course is going to be equivalent as you take it elsewhere. And then, as I mentioned before, the decisions take place late September, early October. So you'll need to watch for those decision letters. We do have an admit and a deny list. And then we also have kind of a middle ground as far as a wait list as well. And so you will be informed one way or another where you stand at that time. So for the prerequisites, you can see them listed here: 4 credits of biology, 4 credits of chemistry, 6 credits of English Comp 1 and 2. So 3 for 101, 3 for 102, 3 for human nutrition, 3 for college algebra, 3 for microbiology, 4 for human anatomy, 4 for human physiology, 3 for introductory psychology, 3 for developmental psychology, and 3 for statistics. And all of those prerequisites are listed on multiple places on our website, whether the course equivalency form or the prerequisite courses or the progression plan, they're listed all over the place. I'm happy to send those links. I'm sure Caitlin probably already has in the chat as well. So at this point, what we're going to do is turn it over to Miss Veronica and Tanya to kind of give you an idea as to what the progression is like within the program and what clinicals take place and what to expect. And so, Tanya, I think you said you want to go first, so I'll turn it over to you.
Hey, yes. So we'll start out with the sophomore semester. Right away, we're going to get you in the skills lab so that you can get some of your clinical experience done in skills lab. We have a lot of fun in that area, practicing, working in a safe environment. You'll have a lecture every week, and then you'll have 1 day of skills lab or clinical. So the way the first class works is the health assessment class is for the first 8-week period. Then you finish that course and you have the foundations of nursing practice, which is your basic fundamentals of nursing, for the second 8 weeks. Throughout the entire semester, you will have nursing pharmacology, and that is a lecture course. Then, at this time, you're going to be in a small group in the Morgantown campus. So if you're in the Morgantown campus, you're with your small cohort. But in the summertime, there are a few traditional progression students that are added to the mix. I believe with the Bridgeport campus, it's going to be solely your cohort. Is that correct? You'll be with this smaller cohort?
Yeah,
Veronica?
so they will admit the 24 students into the class, and you will progress through the entire 2 or 18 months with those same 24 people. And it'll all be on the Bridgeport campus, except we might do some of the bit larger simulation labs in Morgantown, but 90% of the time you're going to be in Bridgeport going through all of those classes with those 24 people that you were admitted with.
Yeah, and speaking of simulation, nearly every course that you're going to be taking will have a day where you get to go to a simulation lab and have a scenario that you're working on. And it's a free environment where you're not feeling very stressed. It's very safe. And then in the summertime, you will start your adult health classes, which are your medical surgical classes. And you will have your adult health 1, and it's a 12-week summer course. Along with that, you'll have a lecture of your women's health, maternity and women's health. And then throughout the entire 12-week period, you'll have evidence-based practice. Throughout the summer portion of the program, you will have clinical 2 days a week. So what we actually do is we start off very small, like shorter days and 1 day a week clinicals. Then when you get into your junior year, you end up having 2 days of clinical a week. So it's really fun. The students enjoy that so much. And then, do you want to go ahead into the fall, Veronica?
Yeah, I can. I mean, fall is going to be very similar to the summer, except, you know, our fall semesters are 15 weeks of content and then a week of finals, so 16 weeks total. So your classes are still going to be, you know, clinicals 2 days a week, and you'll be in class for all of those. Alterations in health, you'll have lecture for child and adolescent health, and then ethics and healthcare policy does not have a clinical component. It is just a lecture course. Now your senior year, things kind of change up a little bit. The courses in your senior year, you have that first spring semester, you have 2 clinical courses. And the way that they're set up is you have class, usually 1 day a week for each course. So you would go to mental health nursing class, you know, one for a 3-hour block, and then you'd go to community class for a 3-hour block. And then mental health, you have pretty structured clinical for that. So you would have a 5-week, 1 day a week, or 2 days a week in the clinical setting. And then for community, that's spread across the entire semester, but you're paired with a community health nurse in a diverse setting, and you work a schedule that kind of mirrors theirs, and you have to accumulate up to like 180 hours of clinical time over that entire semester. So in your senior year, you start to get a lot more flexibility in your clinical courses. And then in addition, that first semester, you can also take a 2-hour nursing elective to give you those 13 credit hours. Now, I know that Tanya teaches in the leadership class, so I'm going to let her talk about that final semester in the program.
Okay, yeah, so the final semester is, it's really exciting because as far as leadership, you will have a short lecture every week. But also you will get to do your leadership hours with a place that you kind of interests you in the hospital. So if you do enter the program, which I hope that you do, I want you to start to think about what floor kind of entices you, whether it's pediatrics or whether it's a trauma floor. You want to kind of check everything out to see what environment you enjoy or what you thrive in doing in that environment. And then you're going to be able to select your top 3 choices, and then we place you hopefully with one of your choices. It can be competitive. And then you'll get to follow that nurse, one specific nurse, for a total of 225 hours. So it is a lot of clinical hours, but you're working a shift, just like a nurse. You start to take on patients, multiple patients, just like a nurse. And it's a wonderful experience. The students absolutely love it. At the same time, though, you will have lecture for your critical care course, and then a brief, you'll have, I believe it's 3 weeks in the summer of the critical care clinicals, and the students tend to enjoy that too. And then, we do have a course that helps you get prepared so that you can pass your state boards, because we want you to do that to become a nurse. Another thing I wanted to mention is we always try to get you involved in interprofessional education. It's so exciting here. And in the way we do it in Morgantown is we have the students work with occupational therapy students in the skills lab, and they absolutely have the most wonderful time helping each other out, learning about the roles, communicating. I think it really helps the students not to feel so afraid when they're in the hospital communicating with other healthcare professionals.
All right, thank you both for that piece of information. So now what we'll do is go give you a little bit of an idea of what the simulation lab is like, at least on our Morgantown campus. Our Bridgeport campus is currently in progress of getting the finishing touches on that right now. But we'll have a video as well to kind of give you an idea of what the simulation lab is going to be like. Bridgeport is going to be very similar. So what you see taking place is going to be very similar to the Bridgeport campus as well. So for our STEP simulation lab in Morgantown, it has 19,000 square feet of instructional space. It does offer 4 ICU kind of simulation rooms with high fidelity mannequins. These mannequins do a great job of replicating the human body, so that way you can really see how your care affects the patient. We have 2 10-bed open lab spaces to practice skills. Essentially, this is your skills lab. This is where your early clinicals, for the most part, are going to take place. Nursing 211, 212 are predominantly going to be in one of those, or in one of those 2 areas. We have 12 patient exam rooms, so you can do physical assessment and communication and things like that. To give you an idea, they're set up like a primary care physician's lab. So if you've been to the doctor lately, it looks almost identical to that, and there's 12 of them. We have an OB and a pediatric simulation room. So that mother, a child clinical that takes place nursing 310, you'll get some experience there in that simulation room. And then as of now, just recently, maybe January, we just finished our new operating room as well here in the simulation lab. So a very, very cool facility. So what we'll do now is I'm going to try to switch gears here to our STEPS lab video. And if for whatever reason you cannot hear the video, please let me know, and I'll try to fix it. So that hopefully gives you an idea as to what our simulation lab is like. And one of these days, I'll get this to where it doesn't stop and buffer. I always try to load it ahead of time, but it never fails. So let's see if we can get back to where we were. So that's to give you an idea of what you'll hopefully expect in our simulation lab. So the plan is for you to make your mistakes in these simulation labs, so you kind of get it out of the way before we get into the facilities. So it's meant to be a safe learning environment for our students. So for now, we do have a current student that is here with us, Ms. Taylor Board. And we have some questions that we'll ask Ms. Taylor to kind of give you an idea of some information about her and her student experience. So Taylor, if you can please kind of introduce yourself one more time. Can you state your name, the year in the program, where you're from, city, state, and if there's any fun facts that you want to add about yourself?
Yeah. So hi again, my name is Taylor Board. I'm a first semester senior. I'm from Summersville, West Virginia, so it's about 2 hours south of Morgantown. But I did get my undergrad here at WVU, so I've been living up here for a while. And fun fact, I got engaged last year and I'm planning my wedding. I'll be getting married 2 weeks after I graduate from this program. So
perfect timing.
Yep.
So what were some of the important factors, or what was an important factor whenever you were choosing, making the decision to go back to school?
So for me, just being in Morgantown, I was already up here. I knew the area well, and location was a big factor for me. But Morgantown is a really quickly growing area. So there's going to be a lot of job opportunities if you want to work while you're in school, but also nursing opportunities after you graduate. And the WVU nursing program has, I think, almost 100% placement job rate. So that's really good to hear. The NCLEX first time pass rates, that was a big factor for me because I'm not a great test taker. So I think the national average is like 86%. And for WVU, the 2020 class, I think they had 100% pass rate. So that was very reassuring for me. I think also just the student to teacher ratio. I have some friends that went through the program, and especially with the fast track, you know, there's only like 24, 26 of us in our class. So you get to know your teachers really well. I've texted many of them. They're there to help you. So all of those kind of played a role into that.
Was there a ultimate reason that you decided to return back to school and choose nursing as a career?
Yeah, so like I said, I graduated with my biology degree, and I didn't really know what to do with that. So I have some family members who are nurses, and they were kind of pushing me, well, maybe you should go back to school. And they told me about the program. And I actually really like dermatology, and you can go on and become a nurse practitioner with that. I was between NP school and PA school. You could do both with a biology degree. But ultimately, I chose nursing because, one, I've heard a lot about PA school that, you know, with nursing, you get hands-on experience right off the bat. Like Tanya was saying, they ease you into it, but you're getting a lot of hands-on experience being in the hospital. And as far as I know, PA school, I think you're mostly in the classroom while you're there. So just the experience, and also with nursing, I mean, there's so much more you can do. You're not stuck if you decide to go into the OR and you don't like it, and you might like peds, and you can always switch. I mean, you're never stuck with just one thing. So it's very expansive. If you don't like what you're doing, you can always change your mind.
So the fact that you're almost about to graduate here soon. So what do you enjoy about the clinicals so far in the experiences that you have had?
For me, just the hands-on experience is the best part, because I'm not the type of person to read a book and just get it. I have to physically do it. So you get so much experience being in the hospital with clinicals. Like I said, they ease you in, and you're in the Sims lab, you're practicing things, you don't feel rushed, you're learning them on the mannequins. So then when you do get into the hospital, you're not as nervous. They also pair you up, so you get to kind of work with friends, and you're not just kind of thrown into it. Like they said, they do a great job of coordinating your classes, so the topics you're discussing in class kind of coincide with where you're at. So when you're learning about peds, you're having your peds class. When you're in OB, you're having your OB class. So you're kind of able to learn things and really solidify that. But yeah, I think just having the opportunity to have different rotations so you can experience different units and see what you like. You know, you'll have an OR day, a cancer center day, heart and vascular center. You have a 5-week OB rotation, a 5-week peds rotation. So you get to see a lot and kind of figure out where you fit in.
So that brings me to my next question. Do you have a favorite clinical or experience so far? If so, which one and why?
Yeah, I've had several that I like. I think my favorite right now, I am in my community health, and also as at Chestnut Ridge. I just finished my 5-week rotation last week there. And it's a behavioral medicine and psychiatric center. So it was really eye-opening for me for the Chestnut Ridge experience. Community health has been wonderful. I was just in the hospital for so long, and you're kind of on different units, but a lot of med surge. So to kind of get out of that experience and be in the community, I found that I really love community health nursing. So this is probably my favorite so far.
So I think I might have an idea of what your answer is based on some of the things you've already said. But whenever you started this program, did you have an idea of where you wanted your career to take you? You know, what unit or floor did you want to work in? Have they changed through these clinical experiences, or have they remained the same?
Yep. So for me, I don't really think mine's changed. I still want to try to see where I can go with dermatology. But I was very surprised to find that I liked community health and mental health so much. You know, mental health wasn't really something I was exposed to, and it was always kind of like mental health. But I really, really enjoyed it. Like I said, it's really eye-opening, and it's a very hot topic right now. So yeah, if I don't go into dermatology, I'll have those as backups.
Do you have a, not to put you or anybody on the spot, but do you have a favorite faculty member so far? And how have they been able to help mentor and guide you through the program?
That does put me on the spot. I can't say that I have one favorite because they all have something different to bring to the table, especially at the different stages of your learning. So I had Tanya Payerchin my first semester. She was absolutely wonderful. She's so kind. She does such a great job of making you feel welcome and, you know, not worrying to death when you first start out. I also currently have Veronica Gallo and Angel Smothers. They are both wonderful, also super kind people. I mean, they're really doing a great job to try to help us however they can. Beth Stiles for MedSurg, she's a wonderful teacher. So if any of you have her, you'll learn a lot from her. And I also wanted to mention Christy Barnhart and Jane Daly from the Sims Lab. I know you guys were talking about the Sims and all the wonderful things that you can practice there, and they are more than willing to always be there to let you in, help you however they can. They do a lot of kind of practice sessions, or they'll pretend to be your patients for you. So I can't pick one favorite. I really love everyone that I've had so far, but yeah, I don't think I could pick one.
It's okay. I feel like this question is unintentionally like makes me feel like a journalist looking for that like that grabbing headline. So it's not meant to be. It's supposed to help kind of expose your, excuse me, kind of give some exposure as to what great faculty we have. So honestly, the way you answered that question was perfect because it kind of went into what everybody does. So lastly, I would like to see if there's any advice that you would like to provide any students who maybe have some worries about going back to school, or anything that maybe you would have liked to have known before you were making a decision to apply or potentially enroll back into school for this program.
Yeah. So first off, I just want to say you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. But you know, when you start the program, it can feel a little hectic. For me, I was definitely not used to studying as much as I did. But you get assigned peer mentors when you first start out. There's students that have already been through the program. They're getting ready to graduate. So they've been there, they've done that. You get their phone number. You can always text them with questions. When I first met them, I remember thinking, how on earth did they do all of this? But looking back now, I can really see, you know, going through the program, you start really impressing yourself with how much your knowledge you build upon as you go through each semester, and how much you actually know. You don't realize it at the time, but looking back, I'm like, oh, I actually do remember some of that. But, you know, just don't be afraid to reach out to them. They are really helpful. And also in the program, just my advice is to make friends and really utilize each other. Everyone, it's just so easy to make friends there where you're kind of stuck with the same 7 or 8 people. You really start to find commonality with each other. Like I said, everyone starts to bond. They all have something different to bring to the table. You can find someone to study with, talk to. That was something I didn't have in my biology degree. There's just so many people in that program that you didn't really interact with each other that much. But yeah, I wouldn't have made it this far without making the friends that I have in this program who will now be lifelong friends. Yeah, that's my advice.
Taylor, I appreciate all of the information that you've been able to supply us with here this evening. And for any potential students that are here today, we will have a Q&A session at the end. Taylor will be here if you have any specific questions for Taylor as well for the student experience. So now we'll transition into some information specifically for our, BS, BA to BSN, and then also the School of Nursing in general. So for this program specifically, we do have those Morgantown main campuses that takes place, on the main campus here in Morgantown at the Health Science Center. But new for spring 2023, we're very excited, is our Bridgeport United Hospital Center. So I'm sure some of you, maybe all of you, are familiar with this area. This campus is going to house a different type of audience. Obviously, if you're from the area, this might be appealing to you, but also if you're maybe unsure about the Morgantown main campus, because there is some integration with some of the other current students. So it is going to be the same size cohort per se as our Morgantown campus, but the feel within itself is going to feel much, much smaller. So we have two very different campuses to hopefully, appeal to every audience that we do have in the prospective student realm. Each cohort is going to admit 24 students each. So we'll have 48 students total, 24 to each cohort. Some other information, we had talked about the NCLEX, sitting for that NCLEX over the past 4 years. We have a 99% pass rate. I think Taylor had mentioned in 2020, we had 100%. That helped boost that average to 99% over the past 4 years. Near 100% job placement. Our nurses don't have an issue finding a job. It's a matter of, where do you think you want to work moving forward? Retention wise, 86% retention rates. We're able to retain and graduate, most of the students that start within our program. We do have the top ranked overall BSN program in the state of West Virginia. Probably shouldn't come to a surprise to too many. We are an accredited nursing program. Commission on Collegiate Nursing Education is the national accrediting body. That abbreviation, as you can see, is CCNE. So we do have a laptop program that I will discuss as well. So once students enter the program, you are required to purchase a laptop through our health science center, and basically all programs that fall under that health science center umbrella are required to purchase a laptop once they enter the program. So this is something that is recognized by financial aid requirements as well. So it's a one-time fee for the laptop. You pay it once, it's your laptop. So you don't ever have to feel guilty about, streaming Netflix or shopping or, checking social media, because it's your laptop. And then once you graduate, you take it home with you. I believe it's a MacBook, one of the latest MacBooks. Caitlin's shaking her head yes. So we try to keep it updated year by year, and those tend to be the most popular. And then also our partnership with WVU Medicine is a very, very important factor, because obviously our students have priority clinical placement at these facilities. So our Morgantown campus, you're going to have Ruby Memorial Hospital right next door. Our Bridgeport campus, you're going to be inside United Hospital Center, which is probably a top 5, maybe higher sized hospital in the state of West Virginia. So you're going to have access to all of this as a current student, and that access is going to hopefully, provide a career afterwards as well. WVU Medicine is always, I don't work for WVU Medicine, but I can speak on the fact that they're always looking to hire great qualified nurses coming from WVU and elsewhere. So that might be an option for you after you graduate. You're going to network through these clinicals. So you're going to get to know people, and that might potentially help land you a job before you even graduate. Well, we'll say about Ruby Memorial Hospital, it is magnet recognized. That is the highest honor that a institution or a facility can receive. It basically just means that they're able to retain employees for a long period of time. They're paid well. If there's any grievances, they're filed quickly. Overall, there's just low turnover, and the employees that work for them are very, very happy. And then this may not come to a surprise either, but it is West Virginia's largest healthcare provider. I'm sure they're all over the place. Taylor has probably seen them in Summersville and beyond. We are expanding outside the borders of West Virginia as well. We have facilities in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and I think in the Shenandoah region of Virginia too, if I'm not mistaken. So a little bit of everywhere. And then these are some of the helpful links. Caitlin has graciously probably sent every single one of these links in the chat. So these are all here. And if you ever need these after this evening, you're more than welcome to reach out to me, and I can provide those to you. And so that way we can get you as much information as you need. And that is going to basically start the Q&A session here. And then this is my contact information. I can put this in the chat here as well. And so that way you guys can have that. Like I said, most of you probably have had some form of contact with me already, but I'll just go ahead and put this information in for you already. So I'm going to go ahead and stop screen sharing here so we can see everybody. If you wish to